I was earning good money, stable employment, top tier firm, but all of a sudden, I just did not want to be there anymore. And so I took time to pray about it, which I think I did not take that decision lightly. And it's an important decision, and I wanted, what I always say is forget what every person says. Forget what your mother says, forget what your pastor says. I want, at the end of the day, I can stand before God and say, you spoke to me about this.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mwangi Monday, and I'm having an amazing conversation with the amazing and Babu. Transitions.
Yeah.
So transition number one, we didn't even know Kumbe there were many transitions coming, but transition number one was to transition out of work into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Just to encourage somebody, how did that happen? What were one of the signs was that you were uncomfortable. Just take us through that.
So what happened is that almost overnight I began to feel like I no longer wanted to be there, which is very strange. I mean, I could not have asked for a different boss. I had a very good boss. You know, people say people don't leave workplaces, they leave people. I didn't leave my boss. He was actually a very good boss. I was earning good money, stable employment, top tier firm, but all of a sudden, I just did not want to be there anymore. And so I took time to pray about it, which I think I did not take that decision lightly. And it's an important decision, and I wanted, what I always say is forget what every person says. Forget what your mother says, forget what your pastor says. I want, at the end of the day, I can stand before God and say, you spoke to me about this. So that is the assurance I was looking for. And I prayed about it. I took about a month or so to pray about it. And when God gave me that assurance that you can leave, and it's up to you to decide the timing. But of course, if you're already feeling uncomfortable, it's probably going to get worse. So for me, when I got that assurance, I put in my notice. I even served longer notice than I needed to. And then I left. And when I left, my intention was to do a master's program, which I did start, and then get into a different type of business. I actually did not intend to go into law firm immediately. I had been in a very intense environment, very busy, a lot of work, a lot of pressure. Law has a lot of deadlines and things and all that. And I did not actually see myself doing that for the foreseeable future. So I get into this new business, and there was a lady who was working with me, and as we were talking, every time she would give me homework, like go think about this, about the business, blah, blah, blah. And then it hit me, oh my goodness, this is not going to give me money as quickly as I want it and as I need it, because my small savings were quickly running out. So then one day, I think God just needed to make it very blatant and obvious. This lady calls me, and she's an advocate as well. We argued a case. We were on opposing sides, and because of that, we actually ended up becoming friends. But we were on opposing sides, and she was really, really tough. So she calls me one day, and she says, you know what, Anne? I'm leaving the country to join my husband in Canada. She had her own practice at the time. And then she says, I want to leave you my clients. I like the way you handle that matter. So I went home and I was like, what is happening? What do you mean?
I love it. He's so amazing.
I mean, it was so obvious now. It's like God was like, you're not getting it. I didn't remove you out of employment to come and do, I don't know which biashara. Yeah.
You are
a line. So at that point, I really just made a business decision. I said, I will set up my own farm. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work...
Oh, now with her clients?
With now her clients, because she had given me the confidence. Okay. She'd given me the confidence that I'm not starting from zero.
Yeah.
So
there were files.
Exactly. There were files ready for me to just get into it. So now, just so that you can know God, I set up my farm, hit the ground running, and amazingly, at that time, I'd literally go anywhere and meet people. Can you help us with this? Can you help us with this? I was just like, what is happening? Can you just leave me? I really was exhausted with the legal profession. But when I set up my mind, I did things very quickly. I got an office, did a website, so much so that people in my former place of work thought this was a plan all along. It actually wasn't. This was just, whoa, the opportunity is here. And as fate would have it, this lawyer actually ended up staying longer than she thought she would.
Really?
And she actually ended up giving me probably just 1 or 2 files. So are you seeing
So
God?
it's God.
By which
Just
time,
activating
exactly,
you, jump starting you into
Thank
action.
you.
By this time you are organized.
I am set. I am
Love
set,
it.
and Babu and Company is ready.
I
We
love
have
it.
a website.
2
Everybody
files.
knows.
I don't know how many files.
She was 2, but now she stayed for like a year, so that gave her
Just
enough
to
time to
jumpstart
wind
you.
up and finish her
She
business.
was used by God.
to just thank you.
You are kicking the butt. What are you doing here?
Exactly. And interestingly, I mean, Wamboye, just to show you God can work through anybody and any faith, because Wamboye is actually Muslim. So, I mean, it's not like a question of just looking for God working through specific people.
No.
Even my boss himself is he's not Christian, you see, but God places divine helpers your way. They don't have to be believers.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we start on the journey now, and Babu and Company starts. And that has been a journey and a half. So many lessons learned. I think at the beginning, it became very clear. I had this notion, and that's why I say I call it a romantic notion of entrepreneurship. Maybe many people have it, because there's a lot of talk about entrepreneurship. But I thought, I'm coming from a big farm. I already have a brand. I will, I'll just ride on it. Lord have mercy, I was slapped. You have to start building your own brand. And now that is when I had to take a decision. Am I going to be the jack of all trades general practitioner? Or am I going to get into a niche? So when I thought about my niche, I realized I had done so much employment work and I liked it. And so much so that even in my former place of work, before I left, they asked me to review their own employment contracts. So I realized, wow, I will position myself as an employment lawyer. So then I just started calling myself an employment lawyer, and people were asking, what is an employment lawyer? But I realized, and you have to just do that. And so that's how that journey starts. And when I say it's not been easy, sometimes it's difficult for people to believe, but it really was not easy. And I came to realize that, in fact, my lesson for 2014, 1 year after employment, was some things take time. And I remember God telling me, and when you set up your farm, your clients already had lawyers, So you have to wait for time for me to transfer those things to you. It's almost like the children of Israel taking over their promised land. You have to wait, you have to be patient. And I've just really gotten into accepting the fact that some things just take time. Patience is really one of the key virtues. I remember in 2015, this was 2 years post-employment, and I was looking at myself and I'm like, God, did I make a big mistake?
Because people question themselves like that.
Full one. I mean, I was just like, I remember finishing a meeting very quickly, running to Judy Mbogwa's place on
Ladies Home Care.
Exactly, on the Cabernet Gardens. She had this small cubicle prayer rooms, and I remember I put myself there. I used to get very pensive during the anniversary. So it was around October of 2015.
Whose anniversary?
So 2 years anniversary of the farm when I'm looking and I'm just like, what? Where am I in life? I have regressed. I made a huge mistake. People think I'm crazy, So I remember living there, and I told God, I'm not living here until you tell me what I'm going to do to take this law firm from point A to point B.
Wow.
Because literally, and to be honest with you, I was living from hand to mouth at that time. And I was also indebted. I had taken a loan for my car early in 2014.
Very nice car.
I had a significant debt for that, and that was really, really pushing me. And by that time, I had even moved homes. I moved from Riverside to somewhere along Dagoretti, the junction there. Life had changed, full stop. And if anybody was looking for evidence that I made a wrong mistake, it was all, I made a mistake, it was there.
It looked like it was all around
Exactly. You're driving this big car, but things are not aligning. So I remember when I was there and I was praying about it, I remember living with a clear impression that I was going to start a blog, and I was going to call it Kenya Employment Law. So that is when I started Kenya Employment Law. The first blog articles I wrote in 2015. And initially, I would just publish them on Facebook and that sort of thing. Unbeknownst to me, people were beginning to associate me with employment law. And that's why I'm not comfortable being out there. People might look and think, oh, wow, some people are just so comfortable, sharing their accolades, blah, blah, blah. I'm not. I'm very much a leave me alone sort of,
I know.
So to put myself out there, I really feel exposed, but that's the only way that you're going to get your brand visibility and get people to know you. So I started doing that consistently, and I would just share my articles.
So I want you to stop.
Okay.
So you shared your articles consistently, because what is it?
Yeah.
Because that's like a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
Number one, isn't it?
It was.
I want us to continue out, but it's like, it reminds me of Jacob wrestling with God.
Yeah.
It's like you wrestled with God in that prayer cubicle. Thank you, Auntie Judy, Reverend Judy Bogwa, for your fellowship and your ministry. See how different ministries help.
Yeah.
So you went there, you prayed, you told God, and
I'm
not leaving here.
Yeah, I think I was there for 3 hours.
The answer,
Word,
which is good, and the direction.
Yeah.
So we'll come back next week. Thank you so much for sharing so far, Anne. I want us to talk about her journey in Kenya employment law and sort of that niche. And even recently, I saw she was recognized for something. So, yeah. But I hope you're learning. I hope you're getting nuggets, and it gives you the ability and traction and movement in your own life. God bless. Bye bye. See you next Monday.